presented by Champion Barbecue Supply, starts now.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Blitz, brought to you by Champion Barbecue Supply. We've reached week 3 already, and there are some big games on tap tonight. A couple of 4A teams taking on 5A teams. One of those is Pampa taking on Caprock out at West Texas A&M. Then at Dick Bivens, the Canyon Eagles taking on the Palo Dons, and that's where we'll start. All right, both teams fired up for this one. Also, it was homecoming night for the Dons. We're going to pick it up on the opening drive for Canyon. Brox Hacker with the play fake. He's going to roll out, fires a dart to Baylor Schilling. He'll scamper ahead for the first down, but that drive would end in a turnover. On the ensuing drive, Deuce Reese looking to pass. He's going to take off with a lot of green in front of him, but the ball's knocked loose. Noah Sanchez falls on it for Canyon, but their drive would stall. So the next PD possession, Lewis going to get it on the jet sweep. He's going to work his way forward for a first down. A few plays later, Reese going to flip it out to Darian Lewis. He's going to work his way all the way down to the 1. Then on the next play, Lewis leading them in the Wildcat, and he plows ahead for the score. The Dons would take the lead. Now the next Dons possession, Reese going to keep this one on the draw, cuts it outside, and he gone a 20-yard scamper. PD goes up by 2 scores. Let's head to the scoreboard. You can see tonight it was all Dons as they get the win 35-7. Couple more for you. Arrow High stays undefeated. They beat Midland. Then Tascosa edges out Lubbock Cooper. All right, now we're going to head west to West Texas A&M. This is Caprock taking on Pampa. Here they both come in are at the home of Bain Schaefer Buffalo Stadium. Caprock's first series, Juan De La Cruz. He's going to be picked off by Andrew Waldrop. Ball goes to the Harvesters. Now Pampa's in the red zone. No, that's a double play of the interception. Guess we like it so much we put it in there twice. Now where I think we might be going to Pampa in the red zone, yeah. Jaron Hill's going to take the ball, and he'll get into the end zone. Harvesters would take the score, or the lead, I should say. Pampa back to punt. Watch this. Ira Smith on Raiden Ramirez there, knocking his helmet off. That's a pretty vicious hit. Now the Pampa on the move again. Hill in for the touchdown run. It's 14-0 Pampa. Caprock inside of 2 minutes. Xavier Vargas with a great run here. Nice stiff arm. And then has some hops as he hurdles over for Caprock's first touchdown of the season. Let's check out the scoreboard on this one. And Caprock picks up their first win of the year, 24-20. Now we'll stay in Canyon and head back to Happy State Bank Stadium, where Randall was hosting Perryton. We're going to pick it up on the opening drive for Perryton. Cooper Schilling, he's looking to pass, goes over the middle, and that's picked off by Draven Patton. Raiders would take over on down, but the drive would stall. So now later in the first, this one, a bad exchange on the handoff, and Patton there again to scoop it up, and he goes the distance with the house call. Randall takes the lead on his second forced turnover of the game. But then on the ensuing drive, Schilling with the play fake, he's going to roll out, fires to the corner of the end zone to Gordo Estrada. What a catch. That would tie the game. Same score now into the second, and Kason Bitten with the quick hitter to Connor Miller. He'll jet ahead for a first down. Randall's knocking on the door now later in the drive, and Benton going to keep this one on the draw. Nice stiff arm there. He's in for the touchdown. We'll go to the scoreboard. And Perryton falls to Randall, and a tight one there. Keep going. We have West Plains, which keeps rolling it undefeated as they take down Estacado, and Big Spring over Borger. Next up, we're going to head up Highway 60 to Hereford. This is Plainview in the herd. We're going to pick it up on Plainview's first possession, 4th down. Seth Mayberry. He's going to keep it, and he's not going to get tackled. He's going to take it all the way up the middle, 30 yards for the strike. Plainview takes the lead. Now Hereford's first possession. Caleb Ramirez going to float it up. You see him running right in front of us. Kobe Goodlow. That's a big first down for the herd. Then they're on the move a few plays later. Ramirez finds Luke Harmon, and that will tie up the game. A little later now in the quarter, Plainview, Blaze Chambers. He's going to keep fighting and stretches it out. The rest would mark him short. He looked a little short. And the ensuing play, though, he'll finish it off jumping into the end zone. Plainview leads at 14-7. On the next possession, Hereford. This is Goodlow now. The nice run there. That would tie it up at 14. We'll head to the scoreboard. And you can see here, Plainview just edges out Hereford. All right, that's going to wrap up the first quarter of the Blitz, but a whole lot more still to come, including our game of the week, where we'll head to Canadian. Go anywhere to watch the Blitz. All right, now welcome back to the Blitz in the second quarter of the show. It's now time for our game of the week, brought to you by Aqua One. and it's a showdown between two undefeated teams. Dumas has outscored their first two opponents 102-6, while Canadians also undefeated and coming off a big win over Bushland. Let out to Canadian.
Game of the week, presented by Aqua One.
All right, Demons now running onto the field. We're going to pick this up on the opening drive of the game. Slayton Dickinson going to get this one around the left side, and he's got some speed, and he is gone. He's in for the touchdown, but they missed the PAT, 6-0 Canadian. Dumas would answer. Colton Mills going to get out of danger there. Nice work there as he finds Luis Balbiena for the touchdown, make it 7-6 after the PAT, but Canadian will respond. Dickinson again with the carry. Hurdles a Demon there, and he is off again for another long run, 14-7 Canadian. But back comes Dumas. Mills going to scramble around. Stays, looks like he's nearly brought down a few times. Then he's going to find the sideline on this one. And he's got some speed, and he's into the end zone. That's going to notch up the game at 14. And check out Dickinson. He's going to get the handoff. And once again, off to the end zone. The Dumas defense just can't catch him. It was 21-14 in the second. Let's check out the scoreboard. And this one was wild. Canadian would hold off a furious comeback from Dumas. We now head back to Canadian, where Drew Powell standing by with Canadian head coach Andy Cavalier.
Yeah, thanks very much. This was an exciting game, to say the least. Our game of the week was more like game of the season. The final score, 40-35 in favor of Canadian. Joining us now is Andy Cavalier. And, Coach, this one really did come down to the last play with the last second.
Yes, it did. You know, hard-fought game all the way to the very end, very last play. Feel great for our kids, and just a way to come up big in a situation like that is absolutely amazing.
Now, you guys jumped out to a lead early. Both teams were able to score. It seemed like almost at will at the beginning of the game, and they kind of slowed down. And then the last quarter, it really picked back up.
Yeah, you know, Dumas is an excellent football team. And we were battling on every single possession. You know, we got us a lead there going into halftime and came back out in the second half, and both teams kind of traded possessions back and forth several times. And then, you know, they've got a quarterback that's really hard to get on the ground, and he made some plays that kept them in the ball game. And I'm just super proud for our kids to come out on top of one like that. It's a testament to being willing to keep battling when it looks like it might not happen.
And next week you have Muleshoe, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. At Muleshoe next week. You know, we've been at home 3 weeks in a row to start the season. So it'll be our first road trip of the year. Looking forward to taking on that challenge next.
Okay, once again, the final score, 40-35 in favor of the home team, the Canadian Wildcats. Reporting from Hemphill County, I'm Drew Powell for ABC 7 Sports. DJ, now let's send it back to you.
Thank you. All right, thanks, Drew. We're going to head back to last night where the Sanford Fritch Eagles hosted Tulia. We'll pick it up on the opening drive for Tulia. Jacob Trevino finds Adrian Reyes on the screen. He's going to work his way forward for a first down. A little later now in the drive, Trevino, he's going to go out to Aiden Marquez, and he's going to hit the Jets and in for the score. Tulia would take the lead. Then on the next Tulia possession, Trevino, he's going to hit Jarvis Pastrana, and that's a face mask. Almost yanks the helmet off there, but he's going to fight through it. He's going to tiptoe the sideline there with a huge gain, and they would tack on the penalty yards. On the next play, Trevino, he's going to roll out on this one, then fires it deep to a wide open Gustavo Trevino. Tulia would take a 2-score lead. Now on the ensuing drive, the Eagles get it going here. Ethan Beltran, he's going to float that one up to Drayton Renville. He'd go up and make a great catch. Let's go ahead and check out the scoreboard in this one. And it was a wild one, but Tulia gets the win. All right, some more scores for you now. Bushland falls to Midland Christian. Dalhart takes down Panhandle. Wow, Panhandle knocked from the ranks of the undefeated in that one. Another score here for you as Childress takes down Frederick, Oklahoma, and it's Dimmitt over Bavina. Now, all right, now we're going to head out to Highland Park, who is hosting Clarendon. Both teams in this one looking for their first win of the season. You can see here, this is the opening drive, 4th down, and Josh Marler with the pass to Jaron Jones, but that one's going to be incomplete for the turnover on downs. Now it's 4th down for Clarendon, and Jones going to get him back here as he gets it in the backfield for the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. On the ensuing drive, Marler going to swing out to Morgan Peace, and he'll rumble ahead for a first down. Next play now, Marler. He's going to sling this one over the middle to a wide open Day Outley. The Hornets would take the lead. They're up now 12 in the second. Once they finish celebrating, Creed Robinson He's going to drop back, and he lets it fly for Michael Randall. What a catch there. That would move the sticks. A few plays later now, our cameraman thought it was a run, so he's going to follow the running back. But in reality, Robinson's throwing the ball, and he goes back to Randall, who makes another great catch between two defenders for a touchdown. Let's go ahead and check out the scoreboard of this one. And Highland Park picks up their first win of the year. A few more scores here. New Home takes down Muleshoe. Wellington over Friona. A few more we got. Now Spearman with the big win over Hooker. Stratford all over Sunray. Groover falls to West Texas High. A loss for Groover. Didn't see that one coming either. Then we have Farwell taking down Sundown. A few more. Vega over Shamrock. Hell Center with a tight one against Wheeler. And then one last one as Memphis takes down Rawls. And that wraps up the second quarter of the Blitz. We'll head to the ranks of six-man football next, as well as your out-of-state scores and the play of the week. Still lots to come. Don't go anywhere. Watch the Blitz. Welcome back to the third quarter of the Blitz, and we still have a whole lot of action to get to. We're going to start with last night's contest out in Boys Ranch. It saw the Headley Owls come to town, led to the ranch. All right, here come the Rough Riders running out, ready to roll. And this one, we're going to pick it up on the second play from scrimmage. Corday Jackson with a big run around the far side, spins out of a tackle, and he would take it the distance. The 2-point conversion was good. It's 8-0 Boys Ranch. On the Owls' first possession, Peyton Glover. He's going to be picked off by Jacob Gonzalez on the 4-yard line. He would turn on the Jets, taking it 76 yards to the house. Let's go ahead and head to the scoreboard in this one, and you can see it was all Boys Ranch on that one, 64-6. Now we're going to head to Groom, where the Tigers hosted Booker. All right, you always know when you're in Groom when you see the big cross there on the Kiowa's first possession. Raiden Rosales. He's going to take the pitch and in for a big score, 6-0 Booker. Now Groom with the ball, and this is Davis Babcock. He's going to float it up to Clay Oliveira, and he'll take that one in for a score. That would tie the game up at 6. Then on the Tigers' next possession, we have Babcock again. He's going to go to probably his brother, I'm guessing, Jake Babcock. What a catch there. Goes up and rips it down. That's a touchdown, 12-6 Groom. Now Booker with the ball, and Rosales going to take this one right up the middle. And yeah, he's just going to outrun everyone. That would tie the game at 12. Now after Groom would go 4 and out, we have the Tigers here. Marco Flores to Rosales. And that's another Kiowa touchdown. That'd make it 20-12. Let's check out the scoreboard in here. And you can see Booker gets the win over Groom. Klondike with the win over Happy. We have a few more scores to roll through. And it's Claude over McLean. Whiteface over Follette. Then Silverton falls to Naz, and White Deer takes down Sanjak. Now to the out-of-state scores. All right, Guyman blanks Moreland, or they're blanking Moreland, I should say. Tyrone and Boise City. There we go. Tyrone falls to Boise City. Balco Forgan with the win over Canton. That was last night. Portales leads West Las Vegas. Texaco leads Olton. And then Melrose with the big win over Hagerman. And Elida takes down Floyd. All right, now it's time for our Play of the Week, brought to you by Glass Doctor.
Play of the Week, presented by Glass Doctor.
All right, for our Play of the Week, we go back to Boys Ranch last night. We just saw this one, Jacob Gonzalez coming up with the interception on the 4-yard line. He would take it to the house with the pick 6. Boys Ranch rolls to a win, so congrats to Jacob Gonzalez and the Boys Ranch Rough Riders for a great play. We'll wrap up the show after this timeout.
Provided by the following. Band of the Week, presented by ACFCU.
Well, you just heard from the pride of the North Side Paladera High School Marching Band under the direction of Ishmael Alfaro and Isaac Gutierrez. Thanks to ACFCU, who brings us Band of the Week each and every week. We have a jam-packed Saturday of action as well. West Texas A&M hits the road to open up conference play against Western New Mexico. Then here on ABC, it's the SEC tripleheader with Wisconsin playing Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee in the primetime game of Florida and LSU. Texas Tech back at home against Oregon State. Texas hosts UTEP, and the Texas A&M heads to South Bend. They'll take on Notre Dame. Also, plenty of volleyball action in the afternoon. Tascosa hosts Amarillo High at noon. Then soccer fans, both the Lady Buffs and Buffs with home contest tomorrow. Lady Buffs play at 3, Buffs at 6. Well, that wraps up week 3 of the Blitz. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.